Batario. There is a lot of deck that is extremely easy to play. One can be considered the one-man army, Batario. The second is the Lost Soul Spirit ship with its alternative version, as there are a couple of versions depending if you go full ship or ships with ground units. Today we talk about Batario, as I have a couple of videos that I will slowly make about some decks and some cards. Let us get started. Batario, one man army, one of the best easy deck to play, and is derived by one special and ultimate card, Enlightenment. Without Enlightenment, Batario falls short of his glory because you will have to make 4 red monuments and then destroy each monument to rebuild those back into its support monument class. This is Shadow, Nature, Fire, and is good, but rarely seen, Iced. There are many variations of the deck depending on the user's budget. It can be cheap, except for Enlightenment, which costs about 2,500 Battle Force point. Disenchant, Green Affinity, which costs about 1,000 Battle Force point. Cheaper for the other versions, Purple Affinity, but weaker, as it doesn't make Batario immune for 5 seconds. All other cards can be alternated. Here are some of the cards that can be added to Batario deck depending on its alternate version, except Enlightenment, even though I'm going to say Enlightenment. Life Weaving, Unholy Power, Unholy Hero, Disenchant, Regrowth, Equilibrium Blue Affinity, Shrine of War, Infect, Soul Shatter, Revenge, Enlightenment, don't know why I said that, Surge of Light, Maelstrom, and Thunderstorm. Enlightenment I think is one of the cards that you can't ever alternate. Apologies about that. This is just to name a few, because the support really depends on the player. It is just that there are some support that are 100% needed. Cards like Life Weaving, which decreases the damage by 50% and friendly and hostile unit receive the rest of the damage, is one of them. Unholy Power increases the strength by X amount and in defense increases by 50%, but I have done without it. It is just that it helps out when something like the next card is on cooldown. Unholy Hero. Now this increases your damage by 200% and it increases the burn as well as it's one of the most overpowered cards for Batario. This is the card that literally, on a couple of videos that I made about Batario, boosts his burn and damage to the point that just by walking, everything dies. Regrowth is one of your main heals. Search of Light is there in case you don't get to T4 and still using Nature, while Equilibrium Blue does what it says, that it heals per X life on enemy around the unit. Since Batario, a one-man army, usually goes alone, this is one of the big instant heal that he uses. However, if you have a partner at all times, Green Equilibrium can be added. Shrine of War is the card that will return the void power into the actual power pool by killing your enemies. Remember that Batario will disintegrate everyone who is standing in its way, and it will cast multiple spells on himself in order to destroy everything in its path. Well, technically, you're the one who's casting the spell. So, Shrine of War will be the card to make sure that the power is actually full, as 90% of the cost of the spell you use will go into the void power, and then as Batario destroys everything, it will then go into the actual power to be used again. This is the reason why you use 2 Shrine of War in case one is on cooldown. Enlightenment will be the key to summon the Batario from hell. Simple explanation. Beside these cards, other cards in deck can work as you see fit, and that depends on the Frost card if you're actually going Frost. The only 1 or 2 person I have ever seen going Frost for Maelstrom, even though I just don't see why, since Batario is just going to burn everything real quickly, and you technically can use other card like Curse of Oink or something like that if you feel fear that you need to CC something out there. Anyway, everything depends on how you start. You can start with Wind Reaver and Shaman to already have a Nature, and move into T2 Shadow and then T3 Nature to summon Batariel. You can also start in RPV with Shadow, which is the path I go. Because I use double Shadow and then go Nature, I build up the resources booster first and then alternate colors in the monument to my need. Everything will depend on you, but others players may tell you their preferences, so take note. For campaign, you may enter areas where Batario is either slow or cannot get to the other side to help its comrade, since he is a ground unit. Since you already have nature for regrowth, you can add one card like Giant Worm, which is a dragon, to take flight and help others while your Batariel stands strong in one area, defending. The cool thing about this is that you now can use Giant War and can benefit with Revenge, Regrowth, and other spells that you boost with your Batariel. But again, even though it's not going to be as efficient as having Batariel out there, there are cards like, there are maps out there such as Riddle Dwarf that you can't help the other side and can only help yourself if you have just ground unit. I mean, you can help the other side with spells, but again, if you want to help with unit, you will need something like a flyer unit like Giant Worm. On RPVE, you will not need Giant Worm at all. Your Batariel is just going to carry you through the wind. You guys see a couple videos about that. I may have not shown clips on this video much about Batariel, but you can check my LSS and Batariel videos on this channel. Beating a lot of maps like Enemy Behind the Lines with Batariel, Slave Mastery, both on experts, and RBVE 9, even with Lost Soul themes, the deck feels great with Batariel. Very easy, even for someone new to play with. I have already have someone tried it, and they're just loving it, even though it costs way too much. I mean, as someone said on my PM, how hard is it to play one card and put all buff on him as he destroyed or annihilate everything in his path with his own ability and strength? Here's a small clip about Batariel literally carrying me in Soul Tree. Esper map as he destroyed every enemy in his wake. If you want to play one of the most easiest and overpowered class in the game, look no further. Batariel, the King of Demons, is for you. And that will conclude this video. Please check the description below to see other videos about Batariel. Have a good one.